sanctified and Jesus proud. So we heal him up loud. Foundation in Christ not crack up. Consistency strong like black up. Jesus Christ is the highlight. If you're with me, shine your light bright. We are flawless, flawless in Jesus Christ. We are flawless, flawless in Jesus' eyes. It don't matter your skin color, it don't matter your hair texture, it don't matter who you are, 'cause we are flawless. Some of us, we struggle with purity.
Welcome, and thanks so much for tuning in to Imperfect Me, where it's all about transparency, connecting, learning, laughing, encouraging love, and living a God-filled purpose life. I am your host, Carisi, and I am just your not-so-average imperfect girl with gifts to share. How are we doing on this afternoon? I'm here, and I'm going live for the very first time, and I just want to share a little bit. Won't be before you guys very long. So I'm going to probably pause a little bit so that I can get some people on here live to chat with me. And let's just talk about hitting rock bottom. You know, what exactly does that mean? So I'm going to go live here on Facebook and see if I can get some people to chime in and let's chat, let's talk. And, so what's on my mind, is rock bottom, man. Growing up, we've heard so many things about I've heard way too often, you really haven't gone through anything, or you haven't experienced anything, or you don't know what it's like until you have actually reached rock bottom. So I want to know from you guys, like, what exactly is your rock bottom? Is there rules to this thing? Like, when somebody says that to me, my mind automatically shifts to, okay, well, if there's rules to this, then can somebody give me a guideline? Tell me, what's your standard rock bottom? Like, where does it start? Because sometimes I go through things and it may not be like what you're going through. It may not be something that you've experienced, but it's my rock bottom. So I don't know how others can dictate what is rock bottom or what's my rock bottom. I have found myself, just speaking personally, in circumstances, and it's kind of like, oh my goodness, like, God, like, it's kind of like one thing after another, like, what is going on? And I feel like I'm losing myself. I feel like I'm in that low place, like I'm in that valley. And so what is it for you? Because, it really irks me when somebody says, oh, you ain't go through nothing. That's nothing. Other people got it worse. But when you going through your thing, it is your worst. So how can you determine what's my worst or what's my rock bottom? Like, how can you determine, like, what's my valley experience? Because my valley experience isn't the same as what yours may have been or what the next person may have been. And usually what's crazy is usually the person that really haven't had a lot of negative experiences or really bad circumstances, that usually just can't comprehend, like, oh, you'll get past it, it's okay. It's usually the person that's got it going on in the moment, like they're good right now. So it's kind of like, oh, you can get past this. How quickly we forget what it took to get where we are. So tell me, what is your rock bottom? Like, what exactly does that mean? What is your rock bottom? And so, yes, I got a little pause here because I'm kind of waiting for some people to chime in. And let's get this conversation going and get our chat, So I really want to know, like, what is it? Because it's crazy. It's, I don't get it. Because like I said, sometimes you want to talk to people and you try to have people that you can kind of confide in about some things. And sometimes it just seems like they can be really just insensitive. And I don't want to hear, just the good stuff. I want it to be real. I want to hear, the truth. So what is rock bottom? When somebody tells you, hey, you good, you'll get through this. Is that really helpful? To me, it's not helpful. Maybe to somebody else it's helpful. But to me, it's not helpful for you to just tell me, basically just get over it, and you're not really going through much. You're making a big deal of it. In other words, is what is being said. Like, you're just making a big deal of it. It's nothing. You've got this. And all the time, I don't have this. So, again, rock bottom. Like, are there rules to this rock bottom business? Like, do you have to be like strung out to be at rock bottom? Is like that the only criteria? Because somebody needs to help me on this. Because, I promise you, if I can't take another person saying, well, you really ain't been through nothing. There's somebody that's got it worse. There definitely is. But right now, in my moment, in this situation, it's worse. So come on in, people, and chat with me. Let's talk about this. Maybe you guys can give me some good advice. Because like I said, Imperfect Me, it's all about, encouraging each other. It's all about transparency. And that's what I try to be. I try to be transparent. I don't try to be. I am. I don't know how else to be. And sometimes I know that I am too transparent. But hey, that's just me. So definitely give me your thoughts. Chime in. Let's hear what you have to say about this. I want to know what your thoughts are. What exactly constitutes as rock bottom? So gonna hit a couple of people up and let's see what they got to say. I am live, so this is not going to be your perfect podcast where everything is just running smoothly. I'm still getting the gist of all of this, and I am just taking it one day at a time. And so it is what it is at this point in time. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to even listen in, chime in, whatever. I definitely appreciate it. So, I really want to hear what your thoughts and opinions are. Hit me up. Let's chat it up. Let's talk about it. When somebody says that to you, how do you handle that? Like, you're at rock bottom. You haven't reached rock bottom, or better yet, you're going through something, and it's kind of like, well, you're gonna be okay. Or to tell you that you're going to learn from an experience. Like, basically, you won't get this. You won't learn from this until you actually hit rock bottom. So what exactly does that mean? Honestly, what exactly does that mean? Because again, my rock bottom may not be yours. So who determines that? I want to know what rule book this is in. So, I'm really interested in hearing you guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Like I said, just hit me up with a chat. Say something. Let me know what your thoughts are about it. Because too many times we hear that. And, in all honesty, it's not encouraging. It's not a way to actually encourage someone to do better by saying to them, you haven't reached your bottom level yet. You haven't, been through enough, or you haven't been through, your valley. So you really don't know, and you're just making much of it. That's not motivation for me. That's actually a way that will actually push me further away. It's going to actually have the complete and total opposite effect. So yeah, rock bottom. I mean, what's the determining factor of what rock bottom is? Who's to say where your valley experience is? We just really have to be careful of our words and the power that lies in our words, and evaluate whether or not what it is that we're saying, if it's being helpful, is it being, is it encouraging? Is it being truthful? I mean, not just your truth, but factual truth. So, like I said, I want to have healthy conversations, and I want to talk about this because sometimes I ask some of these questions really, in all honesty, for myself, because I go through things and some things I just don't get. Okay. And so I need you guys to help a sister out. Like, listen, so when I see that other people have some of the same experiences, then it can make me really say, okay, well, maybe I need to look at things a different way. And then for me, being able to use this platform, to use my voice to speak, someone else can know that there is someone else that may be going through the same thing, that have those same crazy questions. Because I do get some crazy stuff. I am, my mind oftentimes is all over the place, 100,000%. So I need help sometimes. I need to understand these things, because it's just crazy to me when somebody says to me, you ain't really been through nothing until you reach rock bottom. And again, my question is, well, what is rock bottom? Because right now I feel like I'm at my rock bottom. It seems like I'm at rock bottom. The way I'm looking at my circumstances and where I am compared to others. And again, I know that we should not compare ourselves. But when you look at things as a whole, it's kind of like, I might just be at rock bottom. It may not be your valley experience, and it doesn't mean that I won't get through this, because do understand that even no matter what situation that you're in, even at your lowest place, that it's not forever, that it is just a season. It's just a season. So I don't want you to ever think that you're in a place that you just can't get out of, and that there is no other alternative, because there are. And so, just know that you will get out of this. You will come through this. And I say that because when a person reaches a certain point, a lot of times when they feel like there's no hope, and I'm sorry for all the clicking, but people are hitting some people up. But when you feel like there's no hope, then we go to the far left, to the extreme. And, when you talk about things like depression and anxiety, people start thinking of suicide and things like that. So I really do want to encourage you that even though this feels like you are at your rock bottom, and maybe you are at your rock bottom should be that platform for you to bounce back. For you to say, okay, there's nowhere else for me to go at this point but up. So I got to get out of this. There is something more, because if I'm at the bottom, then that means that there's a top. And if there's a top, then that means I've got to get out of this. I've got to get out of this sinkhole. I've got to get out of this some way, somehow. And just personally, I find for me that prayer and talking to God is the only way that I get through the situations that I get through. And everybody has their own opinions and, their own belief system. But I know that prayer works, and it changes things, even the mindset. Let me know what are your thoughts on that? When someone says to you, oh, you haven't been through anything, you haven't reached your rock bottom, or they tell you, once you hit rock bottom, you'll figure it out. Well, why I gotta hit rock bottom to figure it out? Why can't, I just, some of these things are just baffling, and we don't think about what we say when we say it. We just say it because, it just seems like the thing to say, because it seems like it's fitting for the moment. But the question then becomes, is it beneficial? Is it helping, or is it hurting? So that's what's on my mind. I'm not going to keep you guys very long at all. And I only do have one affirmation today. So again, that's what's on my mind. Hit me on the chat. hit me in. I don't want you to hit me in my inbox. I want you to hit me on my post when you see